So hello, my name is Rik Parkinson and I'm a product planning specialist for the DJ side of Pioneer Europe. So we're today down in Frankfurt in Musikmesse with Scratchworks to show you Pioneer's latest offering to our mixer range, which is our brand new DJM-T1. So while I demonstrate this product and go over a few of the features and a few of the functions, this is a very early prototype sample. As you'll see from a few of the stickers, we kind of changed the name. So if a few features aren't working, I do apologise, but you should be able to get the main gist and the main focus of the product and our narrative and our direction with it. Okay, so it's a 2-channel Traktor certified mixer. So for all you DVS guys out there that are using timecode or vinyl timecode or CD timecode, there's no need for the Audio 8 DJ card anymore. You know, there's no need for the labyrinth of wires and connectivity that go with a DVS solution, because the mixer will send the timecode for you. So literally, you plug in your sources, in this case 2 CDJs with timecode discs, and away you go. Traktor that's working with the mixer will capture the sound card, which is actually the timecode. So really, really easy to use. So as well as it sending timecode, it kind of works as a standalone mixer at the same time. So sure, it's great, you've got the scratchability, but sure at the same time we do have features on the mixer such as cue, play, pitch bend, effects select, browse, so you can easily manage your music without the need of DVS. So we're kind of trying to capture the best of both worlds there. You've got DVS control for full scratch playback, but sure if you just want to use it as a standalone controller with Traktor for example, you do have the ability to do that. And sure, it's a standalone mixer as well, so you can actually put in, you know, a CD into there, a turntable or whatever, and you can just use it as a normal mixer anyway. But sure, to get the best out of the product, ideally you want to be using it with Traktor. So stock should be in the market in approximately 2 months' time, and it will retail at approximately £1,250. In the box you'll get a copy of Traktor Scratch 2 Duo, 2 timecode vinyl, 2 timecode CD, the installation process and the discs that go along with it. And Traktor Scratch Duo is exactly the same as Pro, all of the features, all of the new features, but it's just 2 decks. So for those of you who are just using 2 decks, like a lot of people are, and especially people who are scratch DJs, then it's kind of a great solution for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go through a few of the features and a few of the functions and show you how we've tried to interpret Traktor 2 and a few of the new features that Traktor have to offer at the same time. So one of the first things to mention is this is the first mixer on the market that works natively with Traktor 2. So sure, there will be a lot of other Traktor Scratch certified mixers to come, but we've actually incorporated the sample bank feature, which is one of the main features for Traktor 2. So these 4 buttons down either side of the mixer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you now have the ability to store samples in the sample deck, and also the ability to launch clips, launch loops, obviously over the top of your main output as well. And then they can either be shots, so you can literally just fire triggers, or they could be loops that can be pre-produced, or sure, you can grab parts from the track and drop it down into the sample decks. And that was basically how the S4 works. Great little feature, we're trying to incorporate that into the mixer. So that's kind of the first mixer on the market that does that natively. Okay, so running down the product, at the top of the mixer we've got the browse section that we made famous on the DJM-T1. So it's a very intuitive way of browsing your music. So literally as soon as you hit it, you go into the browse section, and then if you hit shift, you're basically browsing your playlist at the same time. And then once you've decided, in you go, and then you just basically select your track and load it onto either deck A or deck B, and then return it to the main section. So on here as well, here's the cue, the play, and also your pitch bend. So again, if you're using it as just a controller, you do have the ability to pitch bend tracks. Okay, so I'm going to load the track into deck A. Because I'm using the time code, you're literally ready to go instantly. So the mixer is kind of laid out exactly as you would expect, and maybe look at it as maybe a DJM-909, but kind of with a touch of native X1 in there at the same time. So down these 2 sides here, we have kind of 2 maybe native X1 controllers, and these traditionally control the effects, the browsing, the looping, and the new feature we've incorporated, the sample bank. So I'm going to run over a few of the effects and how we've decided to interpret that. And we've actually brought in a new feature called the MIDI LFO that we implemented on the DJM-T1. It's kind of advanced MIDI protocol that we've decided to use with Traktor, and that's specific for our product. So traditionally, wet to dry, as everybody knows, an effect. And then if I just hit shift, I'm going to go over to my advanced effects. So now I've got a filter on and off and show my 3 parameters at the same time. It can all be accessed like this. But now with the MIDI LFO, if I hit shift, I now basically have the BPM of the track being sent to one of the effects parameters. And as I increase the intensity of the pot, the oscillator that's going out to that parameter will increase, and that's actually going 4 times faster than the original track. And as you drop it down, you get a nice slow speed again. And this also works on the DJM-900, but on the DJM-T1, you have a bit more flexibility because you can use it with 3 different parameters. And sure, I could activate the second LFO and the third LFO, and yeah. So you can basically kind of manipulate your track even further. Sure, Traktor's effects are fantastic, but now, you know, I could never achieve that type of speed with a normal track or a normal effect. And then to change the effect, we just literally use shift again and flick to all of the tracks, and then engage it. And then to slow those all down again. So once you've kind of got some nice little patterns, you know, I'm sure you can kind of come up with some really crazy solutions. Okay, so down onto the looping section. So I've got a track play now, let me just stop the LFO. So I've got a track play now, and basically exactly the same as it is on the DJM-T1 and the DJM-S1. So I hit 1 beat loop and we get a 1 beat loop, put it right the way down, or obviously you can expand it at the same time. Really, really simple way of working, and that works exactly the same on the other side of the mixer. And then to exit your loop, sure, you just hit down and you exit the loop at the same time. So moving on to the sample bank side of the mixer, this kind of works in two manners. It's kind of a hot queuing and also hot looping and hot sampling at the same time. So if I hit this button here, I now have the ability to sample. So, oh sorry, we'll do the cue first. So I've now got 4 cue points, which can be accessed instantly. And then another really cool feature on here is if we press shift and press select again, the button starts to flash, which now means all my cue points are actually triggered by the crossfader. So I'm triggering point 1, hit 2, hit 4. So for scratch turntablists and scratch DJs that are using dicers to kind of get those cue points between tracks, you know, there's no need to do that now. It's kind of a one-stop solution. So all those little peripherals that people are bringing into the booth, X1s, dicers, you know, it's kind of got a solution there to do it all for you. And as you press shift, you can just drop those out of there again. We turn crossfader controller off and hit the select button again. We're now going to sample mode. If I select a loop length, so a 1 beat loop, it will sample a 1 beat loop in there. If I make it up to a 4 beat loop or an 8 beat loop, I'll sample an 8 beat loop in, do a really tight loop. So I'll just use my 4 sample banks there. I have volume control over those by pressing shift. And again, you do have the ability to crossfade control those samples. So again, pressing shift, the button starts to flash, and again, you've got your crossfader control over the samples. So basically, you can have your main track playing, 4 different cue points, and also 4 different samples coming out of the master output. So as soon as you drop that fader, the sample will come out of the master output. But don't worry, because you do have the volume control over the top of it. So that's a bit about the sample bank. It's got a 24-bit, 48 kilohertz, 3-channel stereo sound card in there. So that's 2 channels for Traktor, and the 3rd channel is basically recording. So if I just hit up into Traktor and hit the record mode, so that's the hidden channel of the mixer basically. It's basically recorded. So for anybody that's familiar with Traktor, sure, hit record and just mount that audio recording onto your desktop. We have an auxiliary input or a microphone input. That's an XLR or 1/4 inch jack that's switchable on the front. Volume is adjustable on the front. and the EQ as well. We have a tension adjustment that we made famous on the DJM-909 with a small screwdriver. So you get that in the box, and you have the ability to actually change the tension and the crossfader. And then we have the 3 crossfade control, and also the ability to reverse the crossfader at the same time. So what we've tried to do with this is kind of look at the scratch DJ market and see what they're interested in, what they're bringing into the DJ booth. Dicers, X1s, DVS, and try to offer a solution with a 2-channel mixer that can kind of be used sure as a scratch DJ, scratch DJ's mixer, but also at the same time a mixer for the DJ that's kind of into the whole Traktor side of things. So that's Pioneer's brand new DJM-T1, out in approximately 2 months, retailing at approximately £1,250. Thank you very much.